Now, you're very welcome to the Salvation Show, our podcast here. And don't forget, you can subscribe to our channel if you would like. It's very simple. You'll see it underneath. But we always talk to lots of people. We've spoken to so many different people. And one gentleman that we've been always trying to get, and everyone knows him as a Dundalk player, Tom McNulty. Tom, how are you?
I'm very well, thanks very much.
It's a bit early in the morning, but it's good. Tom, we never do any scripts or research or anything, but tell me about Tom McNulty.
Well, I came to Dundalk in 1982. I came to work with my father and the great Maxie McAllister asked me would I be interested in playing some football. So my dad says, "Oh yeah," says, "I have a fella for you. He'll be there in the morning." So I turned up and I played for Park Rangers. And I have to say I met a lot of good people there. So I played there for a year, and then John Murphy asked me to come and join Bank Rovers, and I played a season with Bank Rovers, and I think I scored something like 23 or 24 goals, playing as a left winger. And then Tommy Conley got the Dundalk job, and Tommy asked me then to sign for Dundalk. Now, unfortunately for Tommy, it didn't work out well. And he resigned, and Tulloch O'Connor came in, and Tommy was a fantastic coach. And he stepped in as manager a good few times when people had left and that. But he was one of the. I feel he was one of the finest coaches in the country.
I'll agree there with
you. And then so he worked under Tulloch, and the two of them worked really well. Tommy done all the coaching, and Tulloch would come up with tactics or whatever. But Tulloch was a man who, lived and breathed football. He used to turn out for the reserves.
Isn't that incredible?
So they would hate to see him coming because he'd just start getting dressed, getting undressed. And he'd take the jersey. And I always remember Tommy's like that. Oh, geez, what are we going to do to get rid of him?
Yes, but it would have been a brave age too.
He would have been. Tulloch would have been in his late 40s,
while he was
maybe 50s,
reserves
when he was playing. And he was like a big kid running around the pitch. See if he scored the goal.
And that was it.
Oh, that was it.
You couldn't talk to him. But listen, you were talking about coming to Dundalk and all that. Did your football career start in Scotland?
I tell you, I always played football. I actually played, I was talking to Terry Kelly. He took a team over to one of the Gothia Cup in Sweden. And I told him, I said, I actually won that in 1978.
Jesus.
So I went with the school then, Holy Cross High School. But in the team we had, I think we'd 4 international players. You know what I mean? So we had a full-time coach at the school. And all, anybody who showed any potential, you know what I mean, done well. I was with Partick Thistle at the time. Bertie Auld was the manager.
That's a while back.
It's a long, you come back years. I always remember Bertie used to pick me up, take me into training, and take me home.
Isn't that incredible what's done? That when they spot some talent, that's what they do. Look after them. At the best of things. So you done Partick Thistle, and then of course you came to Dundalk. But your dad. I think everyone know your dad. Well, your mum and dad.
My dad was a character. He loved his football. And he was a great man at raising money. He was you would have been playing up in Oriel Park on a Sunday evening. When Enda McGill approached him, Oriel Park, there was nothing happening around the bar and whatever. And I remember my father, Barlow Rafferty, and Bobby Ogle.
Oh, the great man.
You know what I mean? The three of them got together and they started bingo on a Wednesday. So it started very, very small, maybe 20, 30 people. And then every week it grew and grew and grew. And then it got to the stage, if you weren't in early, you didn't get a seat.
It was the same on a Sunday night. Myself and my brother played there. And if you weren't in the Lily White Lounge at 7:30 on a Sunday evening, you wouldn't get a seat. You know, it was going so well in them days, you know, and I remember, like everyone will remember your dad from Max Sports.
Yeah.
You know, that was very successful too.
Yeah, we opened up a fish and tackle shop.
Yeah.
I mean, there was no fish and tackle shops in the area at that time. And we opened it, and it was really, really good for us for about 12, 15 years.
It was,
And then, obviously, when you started, you were able to buy stuff online then.
Yeah.
So, obviously, a lot of people would just buy it online. They didn't have to go into the shop.
No,
or
there's
whatever.
a lot of that now. So tell me this, Tom. What is your pastime now? Are you still involved with football?
I'm not. I'm just a supporter now. But I did get involved when I retired. I played with Rock Celtic. I managed Rock Celtic, and then myself and Terry Kelly took over a team in the Key.
Yeah.
It was under. I think we were about 10 years of age at the time, and I'd done that for 2 years, and then with work commitments and that, I just found it too much.
Yeah.
So I don't have any involvement in football at all now.
Yeah, well, we've come, when you mentioned, like us all, you're a supporter of Dundalk FC. Your opinion, what's happening now at the moment?
It's very, very sad. I feel sorry for the players. You know, to work all week and not get paid. It's not nice.
Apart from a player in any job.
Any job,
you know,
yeah, any job. When
you have families to look after.
Yeah, but if you're like, Dundalk's problem goes right back to the recruitment. The recruitment in the last 3 or 4 years has been really, really poor.
Yeah, well, a lot of people are saying that.
The standard of players have brought in are just haven't been good enough. No. I feel, for Dundalk. You know, when you go back to Stephen Kenny's era,
yeah, they
were all strong players.
Yeah,
you know, and I actually had a discussion with somebody the other day, and he says, "What do you think?" I said, "Well, the midfield they're all 5 foot nothing.
Yeah,
they're small in stature. There's no physicality about them." You know, so you're looking, who's going to win the tackles? Who's going to win the aerial duels?
Yeah.
And that's what we're lacking. They haven't had a centre forward since Pat Hoban.
Yeah.
So seemingly he had a row with Stephen O'Donnell, and Stephen didn't want him, which is stupid. If you can't put your grievances to one side,
this is it.
That's what you have to do when you're a manager. You don't have to like everybody that plays for you.
Yeah.
But if they're doing the job, you put them on the pitch.
Yeah, but it was the same as you said when you were at Party Thistle. You were being collected and left. You were looked after because they could see the talent. So what managers should be doing is, you know, you mightn't talk to each other, but you're on the pitch, you're doing your job. And, you know, like there was some amount of players, Hoban, the whole lot, Duffy, them all, and now they're scoring for Derry City and everything. You know,
yeah,
it's sad.
When you see that calibre of players all leaving at the same time, there's something wrong.
Would it be down to ownership as well?
Well, I tell you, like at that time, Andy Conley was involved.
Yeah,
like Andy was very, very good for Dundalk. Him and Paul Brown.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. When the club were on their knees, the two of them came in.
That's right. Yeah,
and you know what I mean. They had a fantastic run of it. You know, and then obviously they sold it to the Americans. And in fairness to the Americans, there was never any problem with money.
That's it. Their
only problem was they just didn't put a good manager in place, had a good managing system in place. He should have kept his father out of it completely.
Yeah.
Because he was just a loose cannon.
Yeah, but see, that's the way. Like, I know the people will say Stephen Kenny's era would be the same as the Jack Charlton era. It'll never come back. But if you have the right guy, and as you say, the midfield and everything sorted, that people that know about football.
Yeah, well, when you look at Shamrock Rovers, they have a lot of money behind them at the minute, right? They're having a dreadful season.
Yeah.
They're out the cup, they're out the league. You know what I mean? So I'd say Bradley would have to be fearful for his job.
If you were manager, with Dundalk FC, what would you change? Apart from the 11 people.
But the first thing, you'd need to look at your recruitment. You know, they just don't have a centre forward, right? Now everybody's out there looking for centre forward. And I'll go back again to Tulloch O'Connor. Tulloch O'Connor was out watching youth team games. He was watching reserve games every week.
Yeah.
And if you remember Brian Byrne,
I do.
Brian Byrne was playing for Wayside Celtic in Dublin. And that's where Dundalk signed him from.
See?
Peter Whitnell,
not a good.
Who won 2 All-Irelands with Down, right? Peter Whitnell was playing for a junior team down the north.
But you see, he went looking.
I tell you who, Nicky Coffey, remember
Nicky?
Nicky was down doing a TV programme, and he just happened to take in a football game, and he seen Peter Whitnell. And I think Dermot Keeley was the manager at Dundalk then. He told Dermot, he says, there's a fella here you should have a look at. Now, we were struggling for a centre forward at that time because Mick Byrne was playing and I think Mick was injured, so we didn't really have a recognised centre forward. They brought Peter Whitnell down. Dermot liked what he seen, signed him.
Yeah.
And Peter done fantastic for us. Like, we won the league that year.
Yeah, brilliant. You know, but as to say, but you know all the players. We've been playing with Dundalk, the players now, and do you feel that they haven't got what it takes? Well, I heard one of them described what we need is a well-known top-class striker to take us out of this. But I thought it says that everyone works as a team.
When you're down that end of the table, you're down there for a reason.
Yeah.
Right? You're conceding goals.
Yeah.
Now, some of the goals that's been conceded have been just dreadful.
Yeah.
Right? They have conceded an awful lot of goals from crosses. And you've got Andy Boyle, your centre half, right, who got a cap for Ireland.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you need to get I think they need a centre half. They need somebody that's commanding in the air. I'll go and win all the headers.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe Andy Boyle beside him. They don't have that. The fullbacks, I think, have been very, very poor.
Well, seeing the score lines, I think so. The back line is very, very poor.
Too many, you know, there's a lot of individual errors, too many mistakes. And when you're down that end of the table, you can't be giving goals away. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So long balls, down the pitch, goal. Should never happen.
Yeah. It'd be worse than Pat Jennings years ago with Tottenham when he kicked it out, he scored.
Yeah.
But it is right. But, you know, we can see this. You can see it as a professional footballer, you will. But can the management not see it? You know, can you not see that those guys in the centre are too small? You need someone taller. Would they look for or do what Torlock done? Go around all these games.
Yeah, it's obviously it's too late for that now. But look, Dundalk's wage bill is $27,000 a week. You know what I mean? So they're getting paid, well paid.
Yeah,
but they're not delivering.
They're not producing. No.
They're just not delivering. You know, is it a lack of confidence? You know, any time I went on the pitch, it didn't matter who I was playing with. I wanted to do well.
Of course, yeah.
You know what I mean? I wanted to give 110%. I wanted to win every game. I wanted to win every tackle. I wanted to win every head and Joe.
And do you feel that's not what's happening on the pitch?
I don't think so. I just don't see it. You know.
But do you think that the lack of payment on their wages really dropped the morale?
Look, if you're a professional football player, right, I always put the money to one side.
Yeah.
You know, like I played for Dundalk when they struggled for money.
Yeah.
Right? And I can always, the players had a meeting and they says, you know, we're going to go on strike. We're not going to play. And I says, well, I'm going to play. I don't care if I have to go and play with 10 reserve players.
Yeah.
I'll be there.
So your heart was in it.
I says, we've all been, you know, like, we'd all done well out of football.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So what I was saying was, look, give the club a few weeks. If it's money we need, then we're in the wrong game.
Yeah. That's true.
Go and get a job and earn your money that way.
Yeah, and use it as a part-time.
You know, so, like, I turned up anyway, and the rest of them followed. You know, it's okay. So, if you can put the money to one side, and what I would say, for some of these players, they're in the shop window.
Yeah.
Right? And if their contracts, if Dundalk go out of business or whatever, who's going to want them?
Exactly. It's not a nice in your CV.
For some of them, it could be the end of the League of Ireland careers. But they're not playing
to be
as if it matters.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense. Now, I know that the time of Kenny and all that going to Europe, when you get to a certain stage, you got some money, a couple of million or whatever it was. But I believe now they're in debt. So,
well, if you believe all the stories, 1.2 million.
Yeah, well, I heard that as well.
It's not short change. The player fit, the jersey sponsors, seemingly they owed.
Yeah.
I was told hundreds of thousands, so I don't know how that debt got up there, but seemingly they owed money. There's local businesses owed money.
Yeah. That's what I was going to ask you, like who would be owed? Like when you say sponsorship of jerseys, did they not sponsor that for nothing?
Well, Dundalk's selling jerseys as well, you know what I mean? So they're buying jerseys for the shop, they're buying tracksuits and all that for the shop. Now, I don't know what the exact figure is, but I heard it's a lot of money. I know one of the local businessmen is owed, I think it's 5 to 6 grand doing plumbing work.
Yeah.
You know, he hasn't been paid. The bus company.
The travel, yeah.
You know, if you believe everything you're hearing, seemingly they done the trip last week to Waterford, and they're looking payment now.
Jesus.
For outstanding money. You know, when you think you've got a reserve team, you've a youth team.
Yeah.
You know, they're all playing away every second week, so you need the bus company.
Your ladies team as well. Like
ladies, yep.
But so, I see now there's a GoFundMe page started by the supporters.
Yeah, now it's over a week now. I looked at it, was around 20,000.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. You know, there is loads of support up there, but if you're going to do something to raise money, I remember being part of it, playing on a Friday night. We done it for nothing, just to get people into the lounge and all, and get people talking. But if people are going to raise this money, we say, I think they were looking for 100,000. If 100,000 is reached on the GoFundMe page, who does it go to?
Well, that's $100 question, you know. So obviously, if players don't get paid, you can be put out of business. So it's like everything else. If you don't pay your staff, you're not going to be in business.
You're gone, no.
You know, so the players will have to be paid. So you've 7 weeks left in the season, 6 weeks left in the season. So that's 6 weeks at 27,000. That's nearly 200,000.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So your GoFundMe page isn't going to do anything towards that. So you've probably 3, maybe 4 home games. Most of the ones getting in there are season ticket holders. So that money's in and gone. So you're looking, I mean, what would you take in the gate? Would you get 10 grand?
Which is only a drop in the ocean.
The bar's not bringing in any money.
No.
You know, so there's a huge shortfall. Unless somebody can come in and give a donation, I don't know.
It wouldn't be a big donation.
Well, you need just to get the playing side. It's nearly 200,000
at least. Well, that's
just to get you past the next 6 weeks.
But do you think it's down to the new owner?
I don't know what he was expecting when he took over. Right? So did he know that there was debts? Did he know that there was, players taking the club to court?
Yeah.
If I was taking over any business, that's the first thing I'd be looking at.
You'd look into the finances.
You'd be looking at the debt. Is there anything pending?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you're going into a League of Ireland club today, any League of Ireland club, right, you can be guaranteed those debts.
Oh, yeah. But
is there any court proceedings against a club? That's the first thing you'd be looking at, because that's the nature of the League of Ireland. The clubs get in trouble.
Yeah. And then you have all these debts, and then, as you say, the home games, like floodlights, the whole lot. There's a lot of money goes in. Like, as you say, it's 27,000 a week on wages. Imagine what the other costs, the sundries and everything.
Well, as you said, you have a ladies team.
Yeah.
You have a reserve team. You have a youth team. You have underage teams. Yeah. It all costs a lot of money.
It's unreal, isn't it?
You know what I mean? So all these teams, if they're playing away from home, you need a bus.
Yeah.
And if you're in trouble with one bus company, is another bus company going to take you on? Probably not.
Not with that, no. Definitely not. I think it'll be bicycles, won't it? Well, it saves the train, but it's heartbreaking to see it, but isn't it? Like when you see the time, even I remember the time with Jim McLaughlin. I remember us being up in Daly Mount, and I remember coming home and with your Starsky and Hutch jacket on you, and seeing the Tommy McConville and Brian and all the great players there, Jimmy Dainty and them all, and being so proud. And then, of course, it went down a wee bit and it came up. Then Stephen Kenny took it forward. Yeah. And then there's this now. It's very, very heart-rending.
Now, over the last 30 years, as you said, right, Jim McLaughlin came in and took Dundalk from really struggling to winning leagues and cups.
Yeah.
Right. He then went to Rovers and he done the same thing at Rovers. He then went to Derry and he done the same thing at Derry.
Yeah.
So he knew the league. He knew all the players in it. And he was able to go and sign the players that would fit into his team.
Yeah.
They mightn't always been star players, but he was excellent at going and getting that player.
He could see something.
Because he was watching football all the time.
Yeah.
So, like, Dundalk, we're not producing many players now. At the minute, we've Ryan O'Kane.
Excellent player.
So if he was playing in a better team, he might improve better.
Yeah.
And every game, he's either starting and getting substituted or he's on the bench and coming on.
Sad, isn't it?
It just seems to be an easy decision for the manager. Right, who will I take off? I'll take off Ryan O'Kane.
Take off the young fella, yeah.
Instead of trying to build it, he's the only local we have, so try and build his confidence up.
And playing well before the confidence comes up, he just needs that.
Like, it seems to be an easy decision for the manager. He's a young player. I'll leave him out. I'll play him.
Yeah. Wrong decision. Now you've been around with all the Key Celtic and all those. Would you have spotted anything in a local lad?
Well, I tell you, and I can't believe he didn't make a career in football. Anto Riley.
Anto Riley is right, yeah.
I thought Anto was probably one of the best players that, he played for Shamrocks. They produced a lot of good players. I couldn't believe that. I don't even think he's playing football today.
Isn't that incredible, isn't it? But there are a lot of people in Dundalk that say, well, so why don't we look and see if we got local players?
But there's a young lad, well, he's probably not young now, Ben McLaughlin.
Yeah.
Not playing football.
Jesus.
You know, and when he played for Dundalk and
That's right,
Derry. I thought he was a smashing player.
Yeah.
And he's sitting there, you know, Dundalk need players.
Yeah.
I don't know, did anybody ever approach him and ask him, would he thinking coming back to play? Or
You know, this is it, you know, and probably, as you say, like yourself, his heart will be into it. You know, he wants to see them going back up.
I mean, he signed, I think it was Everton he went to, I think it was, and came back. And obviously, for a lot of young people coming back from England, it's very hard for them to
Very hard.
pick up the pieces again. And he drifted out of football, went and played with the Omanis at the Gaelic. And I don't know, he's not kicking ball at the minute.
Isn't it unbelievable, like, when you should be looking at something like that? Do you think we'll ever get back?
You would like to think so. You know, the next few weeks is going to be crucial. Now, the owner, I don't think has put any money in.
Don't think so.
So, you know, can he get money from somewhere just to finish the season?
Does he have any money?
That's a good question.
Like, we can all go and say, oh yeah, this is this and this is that, and I have this and I bought a club. But it's no use buying a club for tax reasons. You want to buy a club with your heart, isn't it? That's why we go back to the two Dundalk lads that had it before.
Now, I had a discussion, as I told, with a businessman the other day, and he told me Ainscow was supposed to put in 850,000 in December.
In when was that?
In December.
In December, yeah.
Right. That hadn't happened. So £850,000 going in December would have took them nearly to the end of the season.
Yeah.
You know, the first team playing squad.
Yeah.
Right? Along with gate receipts and that. So there shouldn't have been a problem. But that money didn't go in.
Oh, God.
He's looking for other investors to come in.
To top that up to the 800.
To pay the players' wages. You know, so the Dundalk have a very good sponsor.
Yeah.
And he's put in a lot of money from, he's based in America. He was interested in getting involved, but when he found out what the money was for, he wasn't interested. He's more interested in putting money into the academy, getting the kids off the streets, give them a focus, and hopefully give them a career.
Yeah, it was just
so that's
brilliant.
That's what he wants to put his money into, and it's great, right? But he didn't want to just put money in to pay players' wages
and clear some bills.
You know what I mean? He didn't want to do that, which is understandable. So he has his own vision, and he wants to build from the roots up. And at the minute, you know, we're not producing players, and Dundalk always produced players.
Always and ever.
Always.
As far back as I can remember, there was always great players, including yourself and them all, when we used to sit there and watch the games, and you'd feel confident you were going to win. Yeah. But now,
I mean, when you look back, like Desi Gorman, David Crawley, David Hoy, John Sharkey, David Ward, Derek Delaney, Parry Gallagher.
Yeah.
You know, they were all local lads, and people might think, oh, they didn't do much. They played a lot of games. Like David Ward probably must have well over 200 games.
Yeah.
Parry Gallagher, I'd say he must have close to 400 games. He played a lot of football in the north. Played for Drogheda when Paul Doolan was there.
Yeah.
You know, so we've always produced good players.
They're out there.
And I don't know, like I remember when Dundalk got relegated, when I was with them, and we were in the first division, I actually went and had an interview for the manager's job, and they were giving it to Paul Doolan. So at the last minute, Paul Doolan took, I think it was a UCD job, and then they give it to Terry Everson.
Yeah.
Right, so I had to then become a player again.
So
I had actually a lot of players lined up who would have come to Dundalk if I was the manager. But when Terry got it, the folk says, no, we're not coming, Tom.
But you see, that's what I'm saying is you have the vision of the players. Maybe that's what Dundalk needs, is someone like yourself.
Yeah, well, I'll go back to that time. When we were in the first division, we didn't win any of the first 4 games. Right? They made a few changes. I think we had 9 locals in the starting 11.
Jeez, that's unheard of.
And we went 10 games unbeaten.
See?
That was we locals. That was our 2 centre backs were Noel Melvin and Paragoligly.
Yeah.
David Crawley, John White.
Oh, yeah, John.
David Hoy, myself, John Sharkey, David Ward, Derek Delaney.
Jesus, it's... Well, yeah, haven't heard anything like that since that.
No.
You wouldn't have heard. Like, there might be 1 or 2 on it now.
I mean, well, you've Ryan O'Kane, and there was a young coloured lad, but we should be more. We should be able to get 3 or 4 homegrown players in that first team.
And what about scouts? Is there no scouts with Dundalk?
I don't know what the recruitment is. I know Shamrock Rovers, they have Stephen Gray, right? Stephen Gray, you can't get him at the weekends because he's away watching football.
That's a good sign.
So he's watching games, he has his weekends planned, and he's going to take in as many games as he can.
Yeah.
And then when he spots the players, he'll approach the parents and try and get them to sign for Shamrock Rovers.
Yeah.
Right? The Rovers in the last few years have probably taken in, I'd say, about 3 or 4 million in transfers.
Yeah.
Transferring young players over to England.
There you go.
So it definitely pays.
Oh, I'd say it does, but as you said that he was away every weekend. You never get him at the weekend, but you don't seem to hear about a Dundalk scout looking.
Well, look, I don't. You're saying a scout. I don't know who's actually in charge of recruitment.
Yeah, well, even recruitment, yeah.
So whoever's over recruitment, they really have to sit down and think, going forward, if Dundalk survives this. Hopefully it's not bankruptcy, but if they can survive this, they really have to sit down and say, right, our recruitment has to improve.
Yeah.
So if we've got 27 grand of a playing budget or 20,000 of a playing budget, we need to get a certain standard of players.
Yeah.
Like Drogheda have a few players. They've been around the league. They've played a lot of games.
Yeah.
Right? And that's the mainstay of their midfield.
Experience.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Experience. They know how to play the game. They're good in the air. They're very solid in the tackle.
Yeah.
They can pass the ball. Right? Now, they mightn't be the best players in the league, but they're experienced.
Experience, yeah.
And, that could be enough for Drogheda. Drogheda's playing Dundalk the last game of the season.
Yeah.
And hopefully Dundalk can stay in Drogheda's heels. It would be, that would be Dundalk's cup final.
Yeah, but if you were to say anything to a supporter, how do you think? Oh no, we won't be there. We'll be in the first division before, and we'll be bankrupt. Well, the only thing I would say, look, you can only deal with what's in front of you. Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're a professional player. There'll be a match this week. you need to prepare right for it. You need to be mentally strong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The money side will take care of itself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there'll either be money there or there won't. But that shouldn't stop you playing football.
Not as a professional player.
You know, and there's no fun there. There's no fun there for players.
Yeah.
When I was playing, they started up a union, so the players' union, and everybody had to pay a percentage of their wages into this fund.
Yeah.
And the FAI was supposed to pay, I think it was 7.5% of the gate receipts for international games into this fund, right? But when Delaney left, right, and a few of the committee from that time went to look for, some money.
Yeah.
There was nothing there.
Jesus.
So if you take 7.5% of gate receipts over a 10, 15-year period, that's a lot of money.
A lot of money.
You know what I mean? You're looking millions. Disappeared.
It's unreal.
So they've started this union up again, and it will benefit. A lot of players that would have played in the league. Jack McDonough, obviously he suffered a severe stroke.
Yeah.
There's a few other players have fallen. They've
helped them. Yeah.
Their illnesses. One of them's in a wheelchair in a home as well, and it would have been nice if there was money there. You could say, right, well, we can help this fella. Yeah. There was players. I think one of them was at Bray, got a serious injury. He needed an operation. Bray had no money. The chap couldn't afford the operation himself. And if you had the players' union there, they could have supported
help
him.
Up, yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's not just for players who's not playing; it's for players who are playing.
Yeah,
and then when clubs get in trouble, there's no wages there for players. It would be nice that you could step in and say, well, we can cover that to the end of the season.
Yeah.
And then whatever happens. But there's nothing there. The FAI have no money, so they can't step in and say, right, we can give you a loan or something, So
it's sad. It's sad to think of it, that behind it all, that this is happening. It's not just the wages not being paid, but nobody's being paid.
Yeah, it's sad. And you go up to Oriel Park and there's probably been nothing done to it.
No.
In the last 30, 40 years.
I think they moved the pitch the other way. Yeah, I remember it the other way.
But now I was asking, why can they not get grants? And I'm led to believe they can't get grants because they don't own the pitch.
That's belonged to that.
It belongs to the Casey's.
Yeah.
So they lease the pitch from the Casey family. Yeah. So I don't know whether is that a stumbling block? I don't know.
Yeah, it could stop for funding because you'd be actually getting funding to pay the Casey's, not to pay the game.
Yeah. So you would be spending money on a pitch that you don't own.
Yeah.
So I don't know of any businessman that's going to build a house and land it he doesn't own.
This is correct and right. Well, listen, Tom, we're going to ask you, what do you think the future of Dundalk FC, in your opinion?
Well, I would like to think that Dundalk will be here long after I'm gone. And I sincerely hope that we can get a solution before the end of the week.
Hopefully, they were saying, I was reading somewhere that there could be a shutdown before the end of the week.
Yeah, well, the PFA come out and said that there was no money in the bank to pay the players' wages this week. So I don't know where they got that information from.
This is it, yeah. But you see, there would be a lot of things going around, that there's not this. But as the PFA must know that there's nothing there.
Yeah, well, that's what McGuinness come out and said that. He was on the radio and says there's no money in the bank account to pay the players this week.
Jeez.
But you know, what happens to the owner? Is he just going to walk away? Just, you know, let it go under?
Yeah. And as you say, if there is a sponsor going to look into the background and say, oh no, hold on.
Well, if it's true that there's court cases pending, you know what I mean? If you're taking the club over, you're taking that over as well.
You're taking yeah.
So
but
the only way you can stop the court cases is you have to pay.
Yeah. That's me ringing. Well, listen, Tom, I want to thank you for taking your time coming in, and I really enjoyed it. I was just sitting by listening to different stories there, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll be back up there.
Hopefully this week will be a good week. A victory would be fantastic.
Oh, right. That's my phone.
Do you want to answer?
No, go on.
Music's a big part of the show. Every week, usually have musicians on, listen to new music. If you had to name 4 bands or artists to put on your Mount Rushmore of music, what would they be?
4 bands.
Yeah.
Well, when I was young, I used to like Fleetwood Mac. Now, Rod Stewart, when he sung with the Faces?
Faces.
And the Dire Straits.
Okay, yeah.
And
that's a great name, yeah, and them go down.
And I suppose if I had to get a singer, I would Frank Sinatra.
Oh, lovely. That's a great mix. You can't go wrong with any of them.
That's your freaking Scottish heritage, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but the thing about Rod Stewart, when they were known as the Small Faces, and Steve Marriott was the lead singer, and unfortunately he was burnt in his apartment and a fire happened there. So he left. Well, he had to leave. But Rod Stewart was asked to join him. And he says, I will on one condition. He says, what's that? He says, you change the name to the Faces, not the Small Faces. I said, why? He says, because I'm taller than the whole audience. And I was from that, Usher did some fantastic songs. And still going strong.
Well, he's still, what is he, 75?
Yeah. Still going strong.
Still selling concerts.
Yeah.
He's fantastic.
He is. He's very, very good.
I think he was Glasgow.
I think, yeah, it would be. Sure, he's a big Celtic fan.
Yeah.
All right, okay. What part were you from, Tom?
Just outside Glasgow, Hamilton.
Oh, okay.
No, Hamilton, yeah.
I can jump in the train and 15 minutes, you're in the centre of Glasgow.
Did you go back home much?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, she'd have to. Should I even go home now after this?
I love getting home.
Oh,
That's good. Okay.
That's it. Tom, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks very much. There's people getting in here now.
Yeah.
So
Can I?
Tom, thanks very much.
Tom, thank you very much. I enjoyed that.